Deadpool and Wolverine recently released in theaters this past weekend. And of course, even bigger news, Robert Downey Jr. has officially been casted as Dr. Doom. Welcome back to the Voiceovers Podcast. I'm 24K Logan.
Can't run a glow mine.
So overall, the both of us thoroughly enjoyed this film, but I know we had some different opinions. For me, while I appreciate the cameos, there were, and by the way, this will be a spoiler review, but I appreciate the cameos, especially Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade. But I think with the whole multiverse thing, it's starting to be somewhat played out and it's confusing a lot of fans, including myself. What do you think?
So when it comes down to the whole multiverse thing, some people's realities are different. It's so weird. Like in Dragon Ball, for example, their multiverse was like there's like a whole universe and then there's another universe and there's not people like them. It's just maybe same race, same name of the planet, but it's not necessarily an alternative universe where they are still there. With Marvel's universe, it's a little different. It's like alternative realities. Now, the MCU timeline, if I'm not mistaken, that's the golden timeline or the canon timeline. I think it's 616. And the one that Deadpool was in was like 10,000. I forgot what it was. Do not quote me on it. So, you take that into consideration. It gets extremely confusing. But them using that little MCU universe thing, that's how they made it work out with the whole, what you seen in there in the movie. Now, you mentioned the fan service. Now, was it a fan service? Absolutely. Was it a good fan service? In my opinion, absolutely.
I agree.
What were your thoughts on that?
So as far as the fan service, I mean, like I said, seeing Wesley Snipes come back as Blade, and that was spoiled for me, by the way, but seeing Wesley Snipes come back as Blade, seeing Chris Evans come back as the Human Torch, I'm a big fan of the original Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, the whole cast. I'm a big fan of that movie, at least the first one anyway. And to see him back as Human Torch, it was a great thing to see. But when I thought about it more and more, if you go back to the beginning of the film, when Wade was at the Sanctuary, and they had the TV showing all of the greatest moments from the whole MCU, right? And you will see Chris Evans as Captain America in Endgame, of course, when he did the famous Avengers Assemble. They showed that at the beginning of the film, but then in the middle of the film, you have the same guy. And again, it's television, but you have the same guy reprise another role that's supposed to be connected in the MCU now. And I think stuff like that just throws it off. And we're going to get to the Robert Downey Jr. thing, but that added to it even more. But I will say, when it comes to the multiverse, the time where it made the most sense is when in No Way Home we had Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all on one film. That made sense because they actually do come from different universes. They're different Spider-Mans, different actors, obviously. It made sense. And even then, that had its flaws because it kind of, for me, it seemed as if it changed events from the previous Spider-Man trilogies. But that's just my opinion. Overall, I did enjoy this film. I think that the plot could have been a little stronger, but I can't fault the plot too much because it made sense. You're bringing back Logan, aka Wolverine, and he's kind of redeeming himself from the mistakes that he made in previous films, the people that he let down or the people that he believed he let down. So, I mean, overall, it did work out. And when you talk about saving the MCU, I don't know if this film is necessarily saving the MCU, but it's definitely keeping it going and has a lot of fans looking for, including myself, looking forward to what Marvel has for us in the future.
Low-key fan services was saving the MCU. Like,
with
No Way Home, fan service. Deadpool Wolverine, fan service. Robert Downey Jr. coming back. Now it's Dr. Doom that we've always wanted. Dr. Doom and Robert Downey Jr. to come back. Fan service.
I think that Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man would have been better. Even though he died in Endgame, I think that would have been better than him coming back as Dr. Doom. And for the people, there's people who know more about comics than I do. I'll admit that. So anybody in the comment section that knows more about comics or is like a comic book fanatic, y'all can comment down below why y'all think that it makes sense or why it could make sense to have Robert Downey Jr. cast as Doctor Doom. But for me, when we're talking about the film, the writing, that aspect of it, we know Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man now. I don't think there's no debate that's his most iconic role in the discussion. And for him to be recasted as another MCU character, now maybe there's a way that they're going to tie this in, like Doctor Doom is his alter ego or something like that. I don't know how that's going to work out. There's certain comics that I just simply did not read growing up, I'll admit that. But from a film aspect, from a film point of view, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, one last thing I did want to mention, the fourth wall breaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that, right? The fourth wall breaking?
I believe I do.
Okay, so, basically when, Deadpool was, when Ryan Reynolds is acting in a movie, and he looks to his left, and then, he's looking at the camera and, speaking to us.
Oh, yes.
Sending shots to Disney, Fox, the TVA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was low-key also what the movie was low-key about. It felt like a jab, but also a fourth wall breaking. Now, there is this comic book that talks about the fourth wall breaking. Basically, so Deadpool went around the whole entire MCU. Deadpool went around the entire comic franchise.
Yes.
Killing every superhero basically, from anybody who you think of, he was killing them.
Yeah.
And when confronted about why he was killing people, he basically mentioned the whole fourth wall thing of how writers was writing in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's more detailed. If you just look up Deadpool fourth wall breaking, they explain it better than I can. But
I do remember hearing about this.
That was a cool little detail as well, because they fourth wall break and they make it make sense. And let's go to the acting. Phenomenal, dude. Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds,
easily.
They really just because it's humorous, but also extremely serious when you think about it. They're yelling at each other on camera, but you're feeling these emotions. It's real, and it low-key goes back to rated R movies. I think I mentioned this in a previous video about how you have way more freedom when you have a rated R film, because you can say whatever, do whatever, and sometimes when the emotional performances come out, it can come out more realistic when it's rated R. Not saying everybody has to swear in every sentence and nothing like that, but when if you ever seen somebody truly angry, break down crying, just that emotion, that rage, it's so far, when it's rated R. I don't know how to explain it.
Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, their chemistry was just insane in this film. I mean, their ability to flow so naturally, how they could go from super serious to humorous in one whole setting it was crazy to me. Yeah. I have not seen on-screen chemistry that good probably since, I would say, Will and Martin in Bad Boys.
Fair.
I can't think of too many duos where the chemistry was just and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have been in a film together.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe that this is the first time. So, I mean, for their chemistry to just go like that, perfect.
Phenomenal.
Perfect. I think that's what stood out the most about the film. Their chemistry, I don't want to say it carried the film, but it made the film. You had to have them in a lot of scenes together.
Yeah, and low-key makes you be like, dang, imagine this duo Ben exists. Imagine Ben had Deadpool Wolverine. But it's really cool how Marvel actually managed to reprise their roles, and it's a little inside joke that's going around, but hey, maybe they really can't keep doing it till they're 90,
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine until he's 90.
Yeah, and
I would like to see that.
Yeah, it's crazy how his character is actually, I think they said 200 years old in the thing.
Oh yeah,
because he lived, the mutants, and that's also a cool little detail, like X-Men,
exactly.
Fantastic Four, some MCU in there, man. It's definitely. I will right now, I would say it's movie of the year.
I would say between this and Bad Boys, I would say movie of the year.
Guaranteed.
Bad Boys was a great experience for me, and this was this is what I like to call an experience film. You have to be in the theaters to really get that. Not that you can't watch it outside of the theaters, but you have to really be in the theaters to really get that adrenaline going. It almost reminded me of, I don't want to say it was as good, but I remember getting that feeling of seeing Endgame with you and all of our buddies and just how we enjoyed that. That's kind of the feeling that I got going to see Deadpool and Wolverine. And even when I saw Bad Boys, so I would say between Bad Boys 4 and between Deadpool and Wolverine, those are my movies of the year so far.
I have yet to see that recreated. Like in game, I have yet to see an experience like that recreated. That's something that
You'll never see that again.
You would had to have been there in 2018 because that's
19. It was 2019.
Okay, sorry, the movie was that's a different story. Okay, yeah, 2019, and it's just crazy how everybody was just in that room that whole entire day. Everybody's just avoiding spoilers to their best ability, and this is before how media was as it is now, like the early screenings and people reviewing. This was like way before that, right?
Yep.
You just had to have been there on that day because it's almost 2 decades worth of build up, like what, almost 20 movies at that point. Just the whole battle, man, that was just insane. I thought Infinity War was crazy. The Battle of Wakanda, personal favorite right there. But man, when they left Avengers, that facility, and they just went after them, man, it was just chills. Every single time somebody came out, you just got chills, man.
Absolutely, it's a moment in time, a moment to remember.
True moment.
But overall, guys, I mean, like, we definitely had a great fucking time with Deadpool and Wolverine. I definitely look forward to watching this again sometime in the future. I would love to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds back on the screen again together, of course, as Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in the future with Marvel.
Phenomenal actors.
The whole Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., great actor. That's not the issue. It's just that he is, like, everyone knows him, or mainly knows him as Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And to cast him as another MCU character, while there could be a way that they'll be able to tie it all in together and make it make sense, I just don't see that possibility right now.
I didn't see that with No Way Home nor Deadpool Wolverine. Look what they did.
True.
So
true. But again, they reprised their roles.
Oh, yeah, this is a different role. That makes sense. So I mean, Chris Evans. That's different, but still, you get what I'm saying.
Exactly. But yes, Deadpool and Wolverine, hell of a fucking movie. But that'll do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all the love and the support. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We have plenty of content on the way regarding film and television, and of course Marvel. And comment down below what you guys think about Robert Downey Jr. being casted as Dr. Doom. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you in between the middle? How do you feel? But thanks again so much for watching. And until next time, peace and love to everybody.